"Here, Mom, you have to sign this," I said, dropping off the detention slip on Grandma's kitchen table that evening after school. "What is it?" she asked, leaving the stove to pick up the note. Her smile faded as she scanned its contents. "Detention? For fighting? Maddy Starr, what's this about?" I frowned. "Nothing." "Nothing? A detention's not nothing, young lady, and neither is fighting in school." Anger welled up inside me. Of course she'd blame me. She'd never understand that I was provoked and totally justified in my actions. Billy had destroyed my property, my art, just out of spite, and if I didn't stick up for myself, I was going to be a victim for the rest of the school year. "It's not my fault the kids who go to that stupid school are all stupid jerks with no stupid lives," I muttered, though I was pretty sure my stupid argument wouldn't hold much water with the momster. Sure enough, she set her lips in a frown. "Madeline, you're generalizing again. I'm sure there are many very nice kids that go to Hannah Dustin." I screwed up my face. Yeah, right. Moms were so clueless sometimes. "Did you ever consider that it's your bad attitude that's scaring them off?" Mom asked. "I mean, maybe if you lost the chip on your shoulder, that I hate the world vibe you walk around with." I squeezed my hands into fists. "I don't hate the world hates me." "Well, I simply don't believe that, Madeline. Just because they don't dress like you or act like you doesn't mean they aren't nice people." "It also doesn't mean they are." I mean, if she was going to go with that logic. "Well, you'll never know either way, now will you?" Mom said. "Since you're judging people before giving them half a chance." "Kind of like how you didn't give Dad half a chance?" Mom's face tightened. I'd struck a low blow. But I was sick of her being so freaking clueless about my situation at school. She had no idea what I had to go through every day. And yet she would, time and time again, insist it was my fault I had no friends. As if I wanted to sit alone at lunch and be picked on when I was just trying to learn. "Go to your room," she said in an oddly calm voice. "Fine. Gladly." I ran upstairs, taking the steps 2 at a time, slamming my bedroom door behind me. I threw myself on my bed, tears coming to my eyes and sobs ragging my body. So unfair! Life used to be great. I had friends. I had a real family that wasn't split apart. Now what was I left with? Nothing but a broken home and a broken life. I didn't even have anything to look forward to. It wouldn't be until college that I'd have even the remotest chance of bonding with another human being. If only Mom would forgive Dad for whatever it was he did and get back together with him. We could move back to our old neighborhood. I could return to my old school and be with my friends again. Yeah, right. So not going to happen. Needed to give up on that fantasy pronto. After indulging in a few more moments of self-pity, I glanced over my computer and then at my clock radio by my bed. It was nearly 5 o'clock. I was supposed to meet Dad in the Elf Tree Cafe. Maybe I'd tell him what happened. After all, he was usually a lot more sympathetic than Mom. Maybe if I asked him really nicely, he'd figure out a way to pay for me to re-enroll in my old private school. So I logged on to Fields of Fantasy and selected my character. Alora smiled gleefully, as if she were happy to see me. At least someone was. Too bad that someone didn't really exist. I gritted my teeth, determined not to let my frustration ruin the game, and sauntered off to the Elf Tree Cafe. The thatched roof bar was cozy and quaint, with wooden benches and tables scattered about, bearskin rugs covering the dirt floor, and a roaring fire blazing in a stone hearth. I sat Alora down by the fire and, on a whim, ordered her a mug of beer from one of the big-breasted computerized bartenders, hoping Dad didn't choose that moment to walk in. Though in my defense, the drinking age for elves may very well be different from that of Americans. And the bartender did serve her without asking for an ID. I scanned the virtual bar for some sign of my father, but he was nowhere to be seen. Getting impatient, I typed in an instant message to Rockstar Bob. Maybe he was running late, having had to swing by a troubled village to slay a dragon or something. But my message came back as undeliverable. He wasn't online. I glanced at my watch. 5:10. Maybe he got stuck at work. I'd hang out a little longer. By 5:30, I was about ready to give up. Rockstar Bob had still not logged on. This was great. My own dad standing me up. Just the ending I needed to my already crappy day. It figured. It just figured. I started to log out of the game, but then reconsidered. He wasn't going to show up? That didn't mean I shouldn't play. Maybe I'd gain a few levels while I was waiting for him. Then when he did get home, he'd be all impressed with my progress. Besides, what else did I have to do while stuck here in my room waiting for Mom to calm down? So I guided my character out of the bar and through the town until she reached its gates. A burly, computerized guard standing watch warned Alora that she was not yet powerful enough to venture out into the world on her own, but I ignored him. Probably just a scare tactic to get rid of the noobs. Alora knew 3 spells. She was a tough girl. She could handle herself. Roar! Roar! Ah! Not 3 seconds after she left the safety of the town, 3 wolves jumped my poor elf, viciously attacking her, shredding her gown, snapping at her legs. I clicked on her spellbook, trying to get off a fire spell to stop them, but they kept interrupting her cast with their snarly, angry bites. She fell to the ground with a high-pitched scream. Dead. Luckily, since this was just a video game and not real life, her death was only a temporary problem. A moment later, Alora showed up at the town's graveyard, looking all ghost-like. All I had to do, the instructions stated, was run her back to her body and then click a button to resurrect. She'd be as good as new. No big deal. I did as I was told, and sure enough, my pretty elf had soon successfully risen from the dead, just a few feet away from the spot she'd been killed. Problem was, before she could even get her bearings, those nasty, horrible wolves jumped her again, and before I knew it, she was back in the graveyard as a ghost. I slammed my fists against my desk in frustration, running my hands through my hair. People played this stupid game for fun. It was almost as stressful as school, and a lot more annoying. I tried my dad one more time, praying he'd signed on and could give me some help. After all, he was a higher level. The wolves would pose him no threat, right? He was still offline. At 5:45. I hoped he wasn't in some kind of awful car accident or something, but no, that was stupid. At 5:45. I hoped he wasn't in some kind of awful car accident or something, but no, that was stupid. He probably just forgot. Forgot about his promise to me, forgot about me in general. I sighed. Deciding to give it one last try, I ran back from the graveyard and hit resurrect. Sure enough, the wolves pounced on me. It was as if they'd just been hanging out, all rabid, drooling, waiting for some juicy elfin flesh to rise from the dead, so they could devour her all over again. Just as I was about to give up and die again, one of the wolves uttered a piercing howl of pain and dropped dead at Laura's feet. The other followed a moment later. My mouth dropped open in surprise. Had I done that somehow? Did Laura have some secret power to know about? The power to...
Don't worry, I got him.
I stared at the screen. Some random player, whose name I didn't recognize, had just instant messaged me. Was he the one who killed the wolves? I moved the game's camera position around with my mouse so I could take a look. Sure enough, Sir Leo stood nearby, lounging against a tree. He was a valiant-looking elfin knight, with shoulder-length white hair, blue eyes, and a large sword strapped to his back. Yum, he totally looked just like Legolas. I realized I should instant message him back and thank him for saving my life. Thanks! They were killing me over and over again.
LOL, I bet. They're level 5. You're level 1. Not exactly a fair fight.
Yeah, I guess not.
You shouldn't even be out here in this area at your level. Didn't the guards warn you?
They might have. They might have. But I kind of ignored them.
Huh, well, that explains it then. First day playing FOF?
Yeah, that obvious, huh?
It's okay. You're just lucky I was around to save you.
Totally. Thank you so much. I smiled at the screen, even though he obviously couldn't see my real-life reaction. I was lucky indeed. Lucky to run into such a nice guy. After all, he could have just run off, left me to the wolves. But he stopped to help. Game people sure were nicer than real-life people. At least this guy was.
So, do you want me to show you where you should go? Where the mobs are a bit more your level?
Mobs?
Sir Leo laughs. You really are a noob, huh? Mobs are like monsters. You get quests from the town people, and you fight them to earn experience and treasure.
Ah, cool. Sorry. My dad got me this game, and he said he'd show me how to play, but I don't know where he is. He was supposed to sign on like an hour ago.
Typical dad, huh? Well, I can show you if you want. This way, when he logs in, you'll be totally elite.
1337?